Greetings and welcome to lecture series on thermodynamics. This is lecture number 15. We will start with a new topic of entropy. Entropy topic is very important from thermodynamics point of view as well as when you study refrigeration and air conditioning, that is in HVAC. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in entropy. And all the topics are arranged in such a way that you will be getting some link when we study the topics. So first question which arises is how this entropy originated. So to understand the origin of entropy, what is this birth of entropy? So here you can see one diagram is given, which is having a higher temperature reservoir, a lower temperature reservoir, and in between this engine which is operating, this is reversible or Carnot engine. Okay, this is not an actual engine. This is which engine? Reversible or Carnot engine. So according to the second law, it takes some amount of heat, it converts it into some amount of heat into work, and some amount of heat is rejected to atmosphere, which is at temperature T2. So in second law of thermodynamics, we had seen this equation, absolute thermodynamic temperature scale equation. So what was that equation? Q1 upon T1 for a reversible engine, reversible means Carnot engine, is equal to T1 upon T2. This we have already studied in second law of thermodynamics. So Q1 upon Q2 for a reversible engine or a Carnot engine is equal to T1 upon T2. Now this T1 and T2 values will be in Kelvin temperature. So what we can do is we can write Q1 R, R stands for reversible, upon T1, take this T1 from numerator to the denominator on left hand side, is equal to Q2R, take Q2R on right hand side, so Q2R divided by T2. Now we can take this Q2R by T2 from right hand side to left hand side. So what we will get? Q1R by T1 minus Q2R by T2 is equal to 0. Now we have to, what we will do is we will apply the sign convention. So let me show you the sign conventions now. So what I have done over here is, this Q1 heat, if you see, it is added to the engine. So if you consider Carnot engine, in that case heat is accepted by the engine. So this heat for engine, it will be positive. So that is why here if you see this positive sign is there. Second, in between again I have taken positive sign, and this negative sign, if you see the engine, this Q2 heat is rejected from the engine. So this will be negative. So instead of showing negative at the center, I am making it positive and showing negative sign over here. So what is significance of this is, we are basically adding all the heat, and when we take into consideration sign convention, this becomes negative. It's like that. Meaning is like that. Okay. So even though negative sign is shown over here, what we do is we put the addition sign over here and take negative sign inside the bracket. What is meaning of this? Since for engine, for this Carnot engine, heat Q1 is taken by the engine, it is positive, and heat Q2 is rejected by the engine, so it is negative. Now this engine, Carnot engine, it operates under how many processes? It operates under a cycle of how many processes? 4. We have already seen the Carnot cycle. There are 4 processes in there. Okay, so that is why what is written over here? What is written over here? So like that there will be plus Q1 R by T1 plus Q2 R by T2. Now this will become negative by taking the sign consideration of sign convention. So what you can generally you can write it as summation of QR, means reversible heat transfer, divided by T is equal to 0. So during a cycle, summation of all reversible heat transfer to the temperature is equal to 0. So what you can do is you can replace this summation sign by summation during the cycle sign by integral, cyclic integral. So cyclic integral of del QR by T is equal to 0. Now if you see over here, this I have written as delta. Why? Because we have already discussed that work and heat both are which type of function? Path function. Means they are not a property of a system. They are path function. They don't depend on point. Therefore, they are inexact differential. So it is denoted by delta. Now, what is this? If you recapitulate module number 1, what we had studied, cyclic integral of a property is 0. So basically, if you see delta QR, this is not a property. This is a path function. But when you divide it by t and take the cyclic integral, now if you see it becomes a property. So you can replace this delta QR by t by some other term. Let that term be s. So what I am doing, cyclic integral of ds is equal to 0. Now this s is what? Even though delta QR, it is a path function. When you divide it by t, this whole term, numerator and denominator, it becomes point function. So cyclic integral of differential, you can see this is s is point function. So cyclic integral means cyclic integral of differential of point function, that is s is equal to 0. This we have already studied in module number 1. So basically I have replaced this delta QR by t with some name, with some notation, which is ds. What is this ds? This is some point function. Now this ds is what is known as entropy. Okay, so what you can say is now this ds, what will be the value of this ds? If you see this bracket and this one, what will be ds? ds will be equal to delta QR by t. So this is the definition of entropy. So what is entropy? But if you see over here, this is entropy change. Okay, so this is ds. So ds is equal to delta QR by t. Remember this r is important. This formula is valid only when the heat transfer is in case of Carnot engine. Okay, so this point is very important. So this is the definition of entropy. So let me clear the slide. Now next thing what we can write is this, we got this equation, ds is equal to delta QR by t. Now integrate this equation, what you will get? Delta s. Why? Because s is point function, it is property. So you can directly write delta s is equal to integral delta QR by t. So now since this is point function, you can write s2 minus s1. But since this only this delta QR, this is not point function. Okay, if you take delta QR by t, together this will become point function entropy. So it will become integral 1 to 2 delta QR by t. So this is the definition of change of entropy. What is the definition? S2 minus S1 is equal to integral 1 to 2 delta QR by t. Now this is all about the equation part. Now what is actually entropy? That we have to understand. So what is entropy? Entropy can be viewed as a measure of molecular disorder or molecular randomness. Okay, very important definition, you should remember this. What is entropy? Entropy is measure of molecular disorder or molecular randomness. Now entropy is defined as the thermal property of a system which remains constant when a substance is expanded or compressed reversibly and adiabatically in a cylinder. Now meaning of this right now it is unclear. Okay, so we'll take some examples. Okay, as we proceed ahead now we'll come back to this definition of entropy. So there are multiple definitions of entropy. So first definition which we had seen, that was in terms of S2 minus S1, some equation. Actual definition which we had seen is over here. Entropy is measure of molecular disorder or molecular randomness. Now there is one more definition. Entropy is defined as thermal property of a substance which remains constant. Means entropy remains constant when substance is expanded or compressed reversibly and adiabatically in cylinder. Okay, what is meaning of this now we will see afterwards. One more statement. The entropy of a pure crystalline substance at absolute zero temperature is 0. Now what is meaning of this? So if you consider absolute zero temperature. What do you mean by absolute zero temperature? Capital T is equal to 0 Kelvin. So for a pure crystalline substance, at that temperature, at absolute zero temperature, entropy value is 0. This statement is known as third law of thermodynamics. We will come to this statement again. Next part, the quantity of energy is always preserved during actual process. This is by which law? First law. But the quality is bound to decrease, and it is given by second law. And this entropy terminology is closely related to second law. So what is given? Energy has quantity as well as quality. So quantity part of the energy, it is preserved. Quantity is preserved by first law of thermodynamics. But quality, it decreases, and that is given by second law. Okay. Now how this happens actually, we will see in the upcoming slides. So decrease in quality is always accompanied by increase in entropy. So whenever there is decrease in quality, what happens is there is increase in entropy. Again, this we will see in upcoming slides. Okay. So whenever the quality decreases, means entropy increases. And this is the meaning of the entropy. Okay. So meaning of quality. So this you have to understand. Now here you can see on the right side one diagram is given. So entropy value, how it changes according to the phase of substance. So solid is there, liquid is there, gas is there. So if you see solid, it will have some so molecular disorderness or randomness in case of solid will be less. So at absolute zero, if you go for absolute zero, their entropy value will be what? 0. As you increase the temperature, there will be a solid. Okay, solid. So this solid will have some temperature. It will not be absolute zero. So it will have some entropy value. Now if you change the state by increasing the heat, you supply the heat to the solid, it becomes liquid. So liquid will have higher entropy as compared to solid. Again, when you add heat, liquid converts into gas. This gas will have higher entropy as compared to solid and liquid. So here you can see the direction of increase in the entropy. So it will be 0 at absolute Kelvin, and it goes on increasing. This is the importance of this diagram. Now we'll go back to the third law of thermodynamics, which we had seen in the previous slide. It was given by Walter Nernst. Okay, so what is the third law of thermodynamics statement? The entropy of a pure crystalline substance at absolute zero is 0. This is the third law of thermodynamics. Now, if you see over here, third law of thermodynamics, what is the importance of this? It provides an absolute reference point for determination of entropy. So whatever, if you can calculate if you consider absolute zero value, from there you can calculate the entropy. It will be absolute entropy. It gives us a reference, absolute reference point for calculation of entropy. The entropy determined relative to this point. This point means which point? Absolute 0 Kelvin is called absolute entropy. So this is the significance of third law of thermodynamics. Now entropy, till now which we have seen, it is based on macroscopic viewpoint. Now we will study entropy from microscopic viewpoint. Our subject of thermodynamics which we are studying, it is classical thermodynamics. We study using macroscopic approach. Okay, so basically this equation which you see over here, we will not be using in our course anywhere. But you should know this equation, it is very important equation. So what is given here? Entropy from microscopic viewpoint. So from microscopic viewpoint, that is statistical thermodynamics. Okay, there are two types of thermodynamics, macroscopic or classical thermodynamics, and second is microscopic or statistical thermodynamics. So from entropy definition from microscopic point of view or statistical thermodynamics, it was hypothesized by Boltzmann. Okay, so entropy of a system at a specified macro state is related to total number of possible relevant microstates. Okay, so this relevant total number of relevant microstates, it is in you can calculate using this W term, and this W term is a German word and it is known as probability. So this W is that part, and it is stated that in statistical thermodynamics, entropy is considered to be proportional to log W. So entropy S is proportional to log W. So when you remove proportionality sign, you get a constant K. So S is equal to K log W. Now what is this W? It is total number of possible relevant microstates. How you have to calculate this, we are not going in detail of this in this subject. Okay, that is the part of statistical thermodynamics. Now this K value is called Boltzmann constant, and the value of this K is given over here, 1.3806 into 10 raised to minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So if you see, this K unit is joule per Kelvin. So entropy, what will be the unit of entropy? Joule per Kelvin. Make a note of this somewhere. So it can be, unit of entropy can be joule per Kelvin or kilojoule per Kelvin. For this equation, it is joule per Kelvin. So the above equation, this equation S is equal to K log W. It is known as Boltzmann relation. So if you visit Austria, if you visit Austria and see the tombstone of Boltzmann, so if you see the tombstone of Boltzmann, you will find that this S is equal to K log W. This equation is inscribed on the tombstone. Okay, this is just a fact. Next, this is very important question, Clausius theorem from Mumbai University point of view, Clausius theorem. So actually theorem doesn't start in this slide, theorem starts in the next slide, but here we will study some concept which is required for the theorem. So what is done in this case is, understand the diagram first. This is pressure versus volume diagram, and what I have done in this diagram is, a system is there which is initially at an equilibrium state I. So a system is there initially at an equilibrium state I, and it follows a reversible path like this. It follows a reversible path and achieves another equilibrium state F. So this path IF is which path? A reversible path. Now what I am doing is, I will draw two reversible adiabatics. So from point I will draw a line which is IA, which will pass through point I, that is reversible adiabatic, and from F, similarly from F, I will draw a line which is BF, and that line is also reversible adiabatic. So basically what we have done, this is initial equilibrium state I, the system is following this path, it reaches equilibrium state F, this path is reversible path. Now at I we will draw reversible adiabatic IA, at F we will draw reversible adiabatic BF. Now what I will do is, I will draw a reversible isotherm which passes through reversible adiabatic IA and reversible adiabatic BF. So my curve will be, so this will be AB, this line will be reversible isothermal. Now I can draw this anywhere, right? But you have to draw it in such a way that, what is area under PV diagram? We have already studied in module number 1. Area under PV diagram is what? Work done. So area under IF will be equal to area under IABF. In such a way you have to draw this AB reversible isothermal process. Is it clear? So initially our state is at I, we are following some reversible process path, and then we get an equilibrium state F, we draw IA reversible adiabatic, we draw BF through point F, that is also reversible adiabatic, then we draw a reversible isotherm AB such that area under IF which is also work done, is equal to area under IABF. So basically work done for IF process is equal to work done under process IA plus AB plus BF, like that. So area will remain same. So let me highlight this in the diagram so to make this clear. So suppose area under IF, what will be that area? Let me highlight that area. It will be this area. Area under IF. It will be this area. So what will be this? This will be work done. This will be work done. IF. Now similarly, if I consider, let me clear this now because it will create confusion. Now if you see this IABF, so area under IABF will be this much. Okay, it will be like this. So area under IABF and area under IF will be same. So work done in both the, so in process IF and in process IA, AB and BF will be same. So from first law of thermodynamics applied to a process, what equation do we have? Let me write down the equation. Delta U is equal to, what is the equation? Q minus W. So what you can write equation of Q? So Q will be equal to what? Delta U plus W. So delta U plus W. This equation you will get. So same equation now we will apply. Okay, this equation of Q we have to apply. So for process IF, what is the initial point? I. What is the final point? F. What you can write? QIF is equal to delta U. What will be delta U? U final minus U initial. So UF minus UI plus work done during I to F. So this we can write this equation for process IF. Why we can write this? Because this is reversible path. Okay, and according to first law of thermodynamics for a process. Similarly, for process IABF, what we can write? For process IABF, what we can write? Heat transfer during IABF is equal to, what is the final state? Again it will remain same, UF minus initial state UI plus work done during the path IABF. Now what we discussed, this isothermal line is drawn in such a way that both the works are same. Work done during IF is equal to work done during IABF. So since, if you see this equation, compare this equation in blue and this equation in red. So WIF and WIABF is same. And if you see the remaining part, UF minus UI, and this is also UF minus UI. So right hand side of both the equation is same. So what you can say, QIF is equal to QIABF. So same thing I have shown over here. So QIF is equal to QIABF. Now what is this QIABF? So it will be QIA plus QAB plus QBF. And if you consider this equation, now some important concept you can see over here. Let me show you that. What is this process? IA process. It is reversible adiabatic. What do you mean by this word adiabatic? Heat transfer is what? 0. So heat QIA, this value will become 0. Similarly, if you consider QBF, this is also which process? Reversible adiabatic. For this also Q will be what? 0. So you can cancel this part also. So what you will get finally? QIF is equal to QAB. So what is conclusion from this? See, understand this. This is very important part. Okay, what is conclusion from this is, when you replace, okay, what is the initial path? Let me draw that part and show it to you. Okay, suppose this is the initial reversible path IF. Initial path IF. When you replace it by a reversible adiabatic of isothermal and again a reversible adiabatic, so it is like a zigzag. When you replace a reversible curve by this reversible zigzag, that is reversible adiabatic, reversible isothermal and reversible adiabatic, what you will find is heat transfer during IF is equal to, so this heat transfer during IF is equal to heat transfer only during AB. What is this AB? Reversible isotherm. This is very important conclusion which we get from this analysis. So let me read the statement over here which I have written. Thus, any reversible path, any reversible means IF, may be substituted by a reversible zigzag path. So this is reversible zigzag path, IABF, between same end states. What is the end state? I and F, consisting of reversible adiabatic followed by reversible isotherm and then by reversible adiabatic again, such that heat transfer during isothermal process means AB is same as original process, that is IF. This is very important concept which we get from this analysis. So basically we have not started Clausius theorem yet. Okay, this is basically some rough work part for the analysis of Clausius theorem. So this conclusion is very important for the same end states, that is IF. When you replace a reversible path by a zigzag, reversible adiabatic, reversible isotherm, reversible adiabatic, the heat transfer during the original process IF is equal to the heat transfer during reversible isotherm AB process. Okay, this is the very important conclusion which we get from this analysis. Next, so now here actually the previous part which we studied will be used over here. So here again PV diagram is drawn. And here if you see a reversible cycle is drawn. So this is original reversible cycle. Any random cycle is drawn, but what is the condition? This is which type of cycle? Reversible cycle. Now what we have done is, as we had seen in previous case, we are using two reversible adiabatic and one reversible isotherm. So same thing I have done over here. So this original reversible cycle, it is splitted into multiple strips by reversible adiabatic. So here you can see this is reversible adiabatic 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So multiple number of reversible adiabatic curves are drawn over here like this. And similarly isothermal curve is also drawn. So here you can see, as previous case which we have studied, this was reversible adiabatic, this is isothermal AB, and again we have reversible adiabatic. Similarly here if you see, again we have reversible adiabatic, isothermal, again we have reversible adiabatic. So if you see again in this case, our original reversible cycle can be replaced by this zigzag reversible path which we had seen in previous slide. Okay, is this clear? So because of this, same thing is done on the bottom side. Again we are introducing isotherm over here. So same what we have done on the top side, same we are doing on the bottom side. So adiabatic, reversible adiabatic line curves are already there. We are again splitting it by reversible isothermal curves. Okay, now if you consider this curve, if you divide this original reversible cycle into number of small cycles like this, what you will find is, see this cycle A, B, C, D. This is a cycle. Why? Because it is initial state is what? A. It is undergoing AB process, BC process, CD process, and again DA process, and it is reaching its original state. Means this is a individual cycle. This is a which cycle? Try to remember, this is which cycle? This is Carnot cycle. What do you mean by Carnot cycle? You have isothermal heat addition, then adiabatic expansion during BC, then from C to D, isothermal heat rejection, and D to A, this will be adiabatic. This will be adiabatic compression, like that. So isothermal heat addition, adiabatic, reversible adiabatic expansion, then C to D will be isothermal heat rejection, and D to A will be reversible adiabatic compression. So if you see, this original reversible cycle is now splitted into large number of Carnot cycle. Okay, this is the signal. And if you see this, if you reduce the distance between the two curves, and if you increase the number of Carnot cycle, like we consider there are large number of Carnot cycle, in that case what will happen, this line number 1 is there and line number 2 will be very near to line number 1. So because of that, what will happen is, this zigzag path, it will become so small that it will resemble this curve, original reversible curve. In this way we can conceptualize this. So original reversible curve, if we replace it by n number of small Carnot cycles like this, such that the distance between these two reversible adiabatic is very small, then even though this is zigzag path, it will look like this as if it is a original curve, original reversible cycle. Now if you see, similar to the Carnot cycle, during isothermal process AB, we supply the heat, that is why it is shown over here delta. Okay, now this is not D. If you closely see over here, this should be D dash, means it is delta Q1. Why? Because Q is what? Path function. Similarly, this heat rejected is what? Delta Q2. So what we can write now is, this equation we had studied previously in thermodynamic temperature scale. What we can write? Delta Q1 upon T1 equal to delta Q2 upon T2. So small amount of heat which is added is equal to small amount of heat Q2 by T2. This we had studied where? In absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. Now what we will do is, we take this this term, let me show you by markings. We'll take this term on left hand side. So what will happen? It will become negative. So delta Q1 minus of delta Q2 by T2 is equal to 0. Now if you see this delta Q1, it is heat added where? Inside the cycle. So this will be positive. And if you consider delta Q2, this delta Q2 is heat rejected from the cycle. So it will be, if you consider this sign convention of delta Q2, it will be negative. That is why I am using a negative sign over here. So I am introducing a negative sign over here. So what will happen? Original negative and this negative will become positive. So delta Q1 by T1 plus delta Q2 by T2 is equal to 0. This equation you will get. I hope this much is clear. Now this is for which cycle? A, B, C, D. This is first Carnot cycle. Similarly, there will be second Carnot cycle. What is that? E, F, G, H. For second Carnot cycle, heat addition is delta Q3 and heat rejection is delta Q4. So similarly for second cycle, what you can write? Compare this equation. What you can write? Delta Q3 by T3 plus delta Q4 by T4 is equal to 0. So for n number of cycles, what we can write? So similarly, if similar equation like this are written for all the elementary Carnot cycles, n number of elementary Carnot cycle for whole original cycle. So original cycle means this circle. What you will get? This delta Q1 plus upon T1 plus delta Q2 upon T2 plus delta Q3 upon T3 plus delta Q4 upon T4. This is for cycle 1 and 2. Similarly, plus for cycle 3 also you will have till n number of cycle is equal to 0. Now if you consider this, okay, let me highlight this part. This consists of first Carnot cycle. Similarly, this consists of what? second Carnot cycle. If you add n number of Carnot cycle, what you will get? You will get original, this will be the original reversible curve you will get. That is why when you add all the equations, what you will get? It will be cyclic integral. So basically here we have individual cycles, and addition of all the smaller cycles, Carnot cycles, will give you original reversible cycle. That is why I have written over here cyclic integral of del QR by T is equal to 0. So this equation is very important. Okay, this equation is very important. What is this equation? This is which equation? Clausius theorem. Okay, very important equation, Clausius theorem. Many times this derivation is asked. So what is the meaning of this Clausius theorem? That also you have to understand. Okay, so what is meaning of this is cyclic integral of del QR by T is equal to 0. So this we had already seen before also, but this comes under which topic? It comes under which topic? Clausius theorem. Let me clear this now. Now next thing which we have to prove is entropy, a property of a system. So if you recall, in module number 1 we had a derivation. What was that derivation? If you recall the derivation, what was the derivation? It was prove that energy is a property of a system. Now what is this? Prove that entropy is a property of a system. So entropy, what we have to prove is entropy is a point function. That we have to prove. It is a property of a system. Okay, so what I have done over here is I have drawn a PV diagram, and we have two reversible cycles. So first cycle, if you see, 1 L 2 N 1. This is cycle number 1, and second cycle is what? 1 L 2. So first process remains same, and what is the second process? 2 M 1. So what we do is, from point 1 to 2 we have same path, but return to the point 1 we have two different paths. Okay, this is the meaning of this diagram, and all the three processes which are shown over here, all three are reversible process, and they form a reversible cycle. So just now we have seen what is Clausius, what is this Clausius theorem equation? Cyclic integral of del QR by T is 0. Same we have to use over here. Cyclic integral of del QR by T is 0. Now for reversible cycle 1 L 2 M 1. So we are considering the outer cycle first. So 1 L 2 M 1. For this outer cycle, what you can write? How many processes are there? See this. What is shown over here? This is cyclic integral. So cyclic integral means we have to show for all the processes which are there in the cycle. So how many processes are there in the cycle? If you consider this cycle 1 L 2 M 1, how many processes are there? 1 to 2 is one process, and 2 M 1 is the second process. That is why here you can see there are two parts in this equation. So what you can write is, this is cyclic integral. That is why you have to take all the processes in a particular cycle. So what I will write? Integral of 1 L to 2 del Q by T plus integral of 2M1 del Q by T is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. So this is for reversible cycle 1 L 2 M1. Similarly, for another reversible cycle, so now what is the reversible cycle which we are considering? Let me highlight that cycle in the diagram. What is the reversible? It is shown over here by red, so we will draw it by red. So it will be 1 L2 to N1, like this. Okay, so for this what we can write? So again, this cycle has two processes. So whenever we have cyclic integral, when we are doing the cyclic integral, we have two processes. So we have two terms over here. So integral 1L to 2 del Q by T plus integral 2N to 1 del Q by T is equal to 0. This we have written. So for both the cycle, reversible cycle, we have written the equation 1 and equation 2. Now what we have to do is, you have to subtract 1 from 2. What you will get? So if you subtract this 2, okay, let me highlight this over here. If you subtract this equation with this equation, what you will find is, if you do this subtraction, what you will find, this terminology is same. See, this and this will get cancelled. What you will get? Integral of 2m to 1 del Q by T minus of integral 2n to 1 del Q by T is equal to 0. So what you will get, take this on right hand side. So what you will get, integral 2m to 1 del Q by T is equal to integral 2n to 1 del Q by T. Now what is this? What is this part? See, this is reversible cycle, right? So this will be QR. Basically this is QR and this is also QR. So you can replace this by what? Entropy. And again you can replace this by what? Entropy. So basically, if you see entropy for m path and entropy for n path, it remains same. Okay, it is equal to. So even if you follow, if the end states are fixed, like 2 and 1 is fixed, if you follow m path, if you follow n path, entropy is same. Means entropy is independent of path. If you follow n, if you follow m, the end result of S2 and S1, it will be same. So basically that is proved over here. So what do you mean by this? Derivation is, this entropy is independent of path followed. Okay, if you follow n, if you follow m, it doesn't matter. Hence it is what? It is a point function. It depends only on end states, which is 1 and 2. And hence it is a property of a system. Now, what are the property diagrams involving entropy? So this property diagram we have already seen in module number 1. Okay, what is that diagram? TH diagram. There is one more diagram which is known as HS diagram. We will see later in properties of pure substance. So here we will only study TH diagram. But property diagrams, here what is word written diagrams? Means there will be one more diagram which is involving entropy. That is HS diagram. That we will see afterwards. So here only we will see one diagram which is known as TH diagram. So area under PV diagram, if you recall, what was that? It was work done. Similarly, area under TH diagram is what? Heat transfer. We had discussed this previously. Now we will prove that over here. So what I have done is, on this TH diagram, I have shown a equilibrium state I, equilibrium state 1. So this is 1, and it is following a reversible process on TH diagram, and we get a equilibrium state 2. Now if you consider area under this TH diagram, how to calculate this differential area, differential strip area? What will be this value? It will be dA. It will be T ds. What is ds? This entropy is changing over here. So T ds. Now if you see the definition of entropy, what is the definition of entropy which we had seen earlier? This we have already seen. ds is equal to del QR by T. This definition we have seen. So here if you see this equation, what we have done is, we have taken this del Q. So this del QR will be equal to what? T ds. So we are taking this T on this side. So here same thing is written, del QR is equal to T ds. Okay, now dA is equal to TDS and del QR is also equal to TDS. So what you can do is, dA will be equal to what? Delta Q. So basically Q reversible, if you integrate this equation, what you will get? Q reversible is equal to integral 1 to 2 TDS. So this, if you see this, what conclusion we get from this analysis is area under process curve on TH diagram represents heat transfer during a reversible process. Very important conclusion. Now if you consider TH diagram, okay, this is something which you already know. If you consider a TH diagram and if you draw a vertical line, now point 1 can be anywhere. Here it is shown that point 1 is on the top side, point 2 is on the bottom side, and process is from 1 to 2 in downward direction. It can be anyway. It can be bottom side can be 1 and top side can be 2, and process can be from bottom to top. Okay, it can be anyway. So in this process, what important point you see over here is S2 is equal to S1. So what do you mean by this? When S2 is equal to S1 means entropy for state 1 is equal to entropy for state 2. It means it is isentropic. So when entropy is same, that process is known as what? Isentropic. So the isentropic process appears as vertical line on TH diagram. Okay, this already you know. We are just again going through the concept. The next concept, Clausius inequality. Again, a very important theory question, derivation is there. Clausius inequality, numericals are there, derivation is there, very important concept. So understand this. So here what is done is we have drawn temperature versus volume diagram, TV, temperature versus volume diagram. And on TV diagram, we have drawn reversible adiabatic curves like this. These are reversible adiabatic curves. This T2 is a line which has constant temperature. So all the points on this line have constant temperature T2. Now what is done is we consider a reversible process, we consider a state A and state B over here. Okay, basically we have a cycle. If you see A, B, C, D, this is a cycle. In this cycle, if you consider A to B, we have two paths. One path, if you see A to B, it is shown by dark line. This is reversible path. And one path, if you see this bottom side, it is dotted. Means this is actual process. And BC is reversible, CD is reversible, and DA is reversible. So if you consider cycle A, B, C, D, in this cycle, BC, CD, and DA, all these four processes are reversible, but process AB is reversible, shown by dark line, and this is actual process which is irreversible, shown by dotted line. Why we will come to it? Because we are doing this derivation considering both reversible and irreversible. That is why both the curves are shown over here, reversible as well as irreversible. Okay. Now similarly, what we will do is, like previously we are seeing zigzag path. Between two adiabatic, we are drawing isothermal. In that case, PV diagram. So here what we will do is, between two reversible adiabatic, we are drawing isothermal again. So these are isothermal lines. And here isothermal is directly, it is a horizontal for all the complete part. Now what we will do is, if you see this, again this complete cycle, it is divided into number of small cycles. What are these cycles? Again, if you see, this is Carnot cycle. Okay, so this will be isothermal heat addition, this will be adiabatic expansion, this part will be isothermal heat rejection, and this part D2A, this part will be what? Reversible adiabatic compression. So again, if you see this diagram, this cycle A, B, C, D, original cycle is again divided into number of Carnot cycles. Now, what we will do is, what is the efficiency of engine? We have seen this. So, if you remember the formula list of the in second law, what we had done is efficiency of engine. What was that? Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1. This was the efficiency of engine which we had derived. So, same thing we have to write now. But here, what is Q1? Q1 is what? Delta Q1. Delta Q, sorry. And what is Q2? What is Q2? This Q2 is what? It is delta Q2. So what formula we can write is delta Q1, delta Q minus, instead of Q2, what we can write? Delta Q2 minus delta Q2 upon, again, sorry, this is Q1, sorry, this is Q1. Okay, sorry, this is mistake. So Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1. So this will become delta Q minus delta Q2 upon delta Q, this equation. So what you can do is this delta will become 1, delta Q and delta Q minus delta Q2 by Q. Now if you consider this, we have two cycles. One, if you see AB, CDA, this is a reversible one, and AB, this lower part, if you follow, this is irreversible one. So you and we have already studied this as well. Carnot efficiency of an engine is greater than actual efficiency of engine. Efficiency actual. This also we have studied in second law. Okay, so we will make use of this now. So what I have shown over here is actual engine efficiency. So 1 minus Q2 upon Q, this is actual engine, is less than or equal to Carnot. So Carnot will be again same 1 minus delta Q2 by delta Q, but here to indicate this is Carnot, I have written as reversible. So basically this efficiency formula I have written here for two engines using this equation. Actual efficiency is less than Carnot. So actual efficiency is less than Carnot, and y equal to is given over here. Equal to means this again actual engine will become Carnot engine. That is why I have given here equal to. So actual efficiency engine is less than or equal to Carnot efficiency of Carnot engine. Now 1 and 1 will get cancelled over here. 1 and 1 will get cancelled. Now what you can do is, here you have negative sign, here also you have negative sign. So bring this towards left hand side. What you will get? It will become positive. Delta Q2 by delta Q reversible is, this will remain less than or equal to, take this minus delta Q2 by Q on right hand side. Delta Q on right hand side. So what you will get? Delta Q2 by delta Q. Now we will just arrange the terms. Take this delta Q in the numerator. Okay, let me highlight this. Take this delta Q in the numerator. So I have taken this in the numerator, and take this delta Q2 in the denominator. Similarly, take this reversible delta Q in the numerator, so delta Q, and this delta Q2 in the denominators. So in between the sign will remain same, less than or equal to. So what equation you will get is, let me explain the equation. So delta Q by delta Q2 is less than or equal to, in bracket, delta Q by delta Q2 for reversible. Reversible means it is following which cycle? Carnot cycle, small Carnot cycle. Now if you remember the absolute thermodynamic temperature scale, what we had seen was Q1 upon T1 is equal to Q2 upon T2 by absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. So what you can write? Q1 upon Q2 is equal to T1 upon T2, provided what is the condition? This Q is reversible. Okay, I have highlighted by red color because this is important. This is reversible. This is reversible. So you can replace this. So same thing I am doing now. So this delta Q by delta Q2, what I can write using this principle is delta Q by delta Q2, use this logic, is equal to T by T2. Okay, here temperature is T and here temperature is T2. So using this concept, what we will get? You can replace this equation. So if you see this, let me go to the next equation. Let me highlight this part. So if you see this part, delta Q by delta Q2 reversible is replaced by T by T2 using this equation. This we get from absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. So what you will get now, just manipulate the terms, delta Q, take this T on the denominator side. Now if you see in this equation, reversible term has been removed. It has been replaced by T by T2. Okay, if you see this equation, that is why here Q, it is not reversible. Okay, remember this. So delta Q by T is less than or equal to delta Q2 by T2. Now, what is this delta Q? What is ds? We have already discussed this. ds is what? Delta Q reversible by T. So we'll replace this by ds. So this less than sign is taking care. Why? Because this this part, if you see this part, Q2 by T2, this Q2 is reversible one. Why? See this diagram. This Q2, this heat is rejected isothermally, and DC part, if you see this part, this is reversible only. So basically this delta Q2 by T2, this is reversible only. So you can replace this by ds. That is why I have replaced. So because you will ask the question to me, na? You can ask the question, why not replace this delta Q by T by ds on left hand side? Why I am replacing delta Q by T2 only by ds? Why is that? Because if you see this delta Q by T, it is following this dotted path, which is irreversible. But this delta Q2 by T2, it is following a reversible isothermal process. So this is reversible. That is why I can replace that by ds. That is why I am replacing this part by ds, not the left hand side. So what you will get is delta Q by T is less than or equal to ds. Now what you can write? Cyclic integral of delta Q by T is less than or equal to cyclic integral of ds. Now what is cyclic integral of ds? Entropy is what? A property. And cyclic integral of differential of a property is what? 0. So what you can write? Cyclic integral of delta Q by T is less than or equal to 0. Very, very important question. Very, very important equation. Clausius inequality. Now, what is the significance of this less than or equal to 0? Okay, this inequality means it is less than. Okay, this suggests the inequality. So, what is the significance of this? So, see this. See the bottom side analysis for this one. Okay, let me highlight this analysis. See this. Concentrate on this part. So, what is shown over here? If cyclic integral of del Q by T is equal to 0. Is equal to 0 means what? What will happen? The cycle will be which cycle? Reversible cycle. Now, cyclic integral of del Q by T is less than or equal to 0. So, when you take less than sign, it will become irreversible cycle and possible cycle. But when cyclic integral of del Q by T is greater than 0, what is meaning of this? Cycle is impossible. So if some values, if a cycle is given to you, what is the significance of this is, suppose a cycle is given to you and someone is asking you, it is having some heat interactions like del Q and del Q2 like that, and someone is asking you whether this cycle is possible or not. How you can validate that? By using Clausius inequality. What is that? Cyclic integral of del Q by T is less than or equal to 0. So when it is equal to 0 means it is reversible. When it is less than 0 means it is irreversible but it is possible. And when this is greater than 0 means the cycle is impossible. This is very important concept and we will be solving numericals using this as well. Okay, now let me clear all the screen. So this Clausius inequality, it was stated first by a German physicist, R.J.E. Clausius. He is one of the founders of thermodynamics, and this Clausius inequality was expressed in 1865. Next concept, principle of increase of entropy. Again, you will have numericals on this. We will cover this in next lecture. Before concluding the lecture, we will talk about a numerical which we had seen in previous lecture. Okay, there was a doubt related to this. So let me go back to a particular numerical in that case. So this numerical we are seeing. So basically we are seeing this numerical. In this numerical, this was second law of thermodynamics monthly bill type question. Okay, now the question arises over here. Let me highlight the question. No, let me highlight the question over here. The question is kilojoule per day. If you see this, the question is kilojoule per day. How this is converted to kilowatt hour per day? Very important question. So let me give answer for this. So what I am doing is, we have kilojoule per day. I want to convert it in kilowatt hour per day. How to do this? Kilojoule by day. This is there. Okay, this is initially there. What we will do is, we will divide this kilojoule by second and we will multiply this by second. Now, in order to convert this second into hour, what we have to do? How to convert this second into hour? This second into hour. What we have to do? We have to divide by 3600. So finally what you will get is, when you have a unit like kilojoule per day, and when you divide it by 3600, what you will get is kilojoule, it will become, see now this kilojoule per second, what is this? Kilowatt. And this R will remain as it is. So when you divide this equation by 3600, so when you divide this equation by 3600, what you will get is, this kilojoule per second will become kilowatt. This second we have converted into hour, so kilowatt hour per day. In this way we get the unit. So kilojoule per day, when we divide by 3600, we get kilowatt hour per day. And what is this kilowatt hour? This is 1 unit of electricity. Okay, so here we will stop the lecture.